What is up, everybody? Welcome to the feast, episode number 92. Show where you submit replays and we cast them. I am Delthius. How's it going? No 21 Generals episode tonight, unfortunately, guys. We needed a little more time to get in some of the results from the week, but fear not, it is just postponed until Sunday, so we're actually doing 2 episodes on Sunday. We're going to do episode 8 with Tosh at 1 p.m. EST, and then episode 9 is going to be with me at 3 p.m. EST. So lots of Tooth and Tail on Sunday. And tonight we're just going in it. I'm actually kind of glad, in a way, we're taking a break from the 21 Generals so I can get to regular replay style show again. And of course, if you haven't been around for a minute, I am trying to do content frequently again. So every Friday night, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. EST, trying to get some Tooth and Tail content out there. And tonight we're just doing a regular replay casting show. Keep sending me them replays to ToothAndTailTV@gmail.com, please. I've been getting a ton lately, so thank you guys. I appreciate it. That's kind of one reason I'm happy that 21 Generals got delayed a little bit. That way I can get to some of these replays and not build up too much of a backlog. So got a good docket tonight. A solid 12. A little variety in here. A couple new names, new faces. It's always good. And yeah, without any further ado, I guess let's hop into match number 1. It's still a Vincent match, but this time against Kalaru. And speaking of those two players, in the bottom, rocking that Wolf Fox, we've got Kalaru. And his opponent up top, Vincent. Alright, let's see it happen, man. I'm a fan of Kalaru's deck here. I might steal this one. It's pretty solid. Like, Squizzard is good nowadays, right? And I always like how much Lizards can add to your deck in general with the variety of playstyles that having that unit really opens up. But Lizards are back into... Oh, hold that thought. Vincent getting a little crazy. But Kalaru was planning on a 5-farm rush anyways. Let's see if he was going for a single or a double. Looks like a single because he wants to queue this farm, perhaps. Yeah, he's going to let that first lizard build and then go ahead and queue this farm. So what he's looking to do, I think, is to just harass with a single lizard and try to pick off like a building corner farm or something of that like. But Vincent here, with the bull rush, actually does knock out a pig there. So that's a pretty big victory. I don't think Kalaru sold that first one in time. I got a little distracted. I forgot about it. So nice little win there for Vincent. And he doesn't have any units just yet, but he's built a lot of Warrens in response to this. He did see the early Warren from Kalaru. Great defense there. Knocking out that lizard. Not really losing anything. Did have to rebuild that farm there, but no harm, no foul. And now I think Vincent's in a decent spot, but Kalaru's going to try to recover. He's going to shift back over to Squirrels, which I think makes sense when you're a little bit more on the back foot. You know, Lizards aren't that great at defending. And we're kind of stabilizing here. You know, Vincent's got a bit of an edge, but nothing game-breaking. You know, Kalaru's definitely still in this completely. So we're going to approach, you know, a typical early to mid-game here. A little bit fine. Let's see how these players want to progress. Nobody's going super crazy. Yeah, they're going up to the 8 farms. Vincent's going to keep the 9 squirrels, which is a little nuts. And Kalaru did sell down to 6. Now he's really rebuilding up to that third Warren. And that's going to give Vincent a little bit of a window here to move out. And Kalaru's not in the right spot either, but Vincent heads home for a minute. Okay. Yeah, man, I think he really had a window there. He just wasn't aware. And yeah, he's going to transition out. Oh, that's too bad for Vincent because Kalaru sold down to 2 Warrens, right? So Vincent would have came in with a pretty strong attack, but decides, you know what, I'm just going to back off and get up to Ferret. And building a lot of mines here. Mines actually synergize with Ferrets a little bit better than I give it credit for. I'm curious on this patch, maybe because the days has been nerfed a little bit. It's not as much of a slowing effect as it used to be. But the idea that you can kind of bait your opponent into those big juicy mine hits with the ferrets seems pretty cool. Kalaru going up to 2 bases, a little bit ahead of his opponent, and the big thing here to me is this high ground. You know, Vincent's really got to get out here on the map. Kalaru's second base already being on this high ground. If he can get himself positioned out here, you know, maybe control this double high ground, get outside of this little choke point. That choke point's going to be difficult to play around. So if I'm Kalaru, I really want to get my forces out of there, or really turtle up on 2 base and force my opponent through that choke point as well. That could be viable, but I don't think that's going to work with the ferret sitting here harassing. It's going to be Kalaru stuck in this choke, and that's exactly what we see as Vincent's units get a better engagement up front. However, the skunk gas just absolutely rips through all the tier 1 of Vincent. But, you know, Vincent did okay there. He killed a skunk, right? You know, he got some tier 1. Oh, these mines, really, the detonation range on the mines dispatch is so nuts. I always expect them to go off and they don't. You have to, like, really stand right on top of them nowadays for them to blast. And here we go, another fight. This one's looking good for Vincent so far, but here's the real army of Kalaru. The squirrel skunk moving in to try to force this back yet again. Doing a good job so far with this ferret micro, though. Hasn't lost any of them. Has been pretty active on keeping them harassing the opponent. Vincent trying to build up that 2-base economy. Now the question is, where do these guys take it from here? Do we keep just trying to, you know, wreck into one another as we see here in the middle of the map, or is either player going to try to pull back, maybe get some extra farms going on? You know, if you're Kalaru, are you thinking about a tier 3 here, or are you just keeping more and more aggression going? I think if you're Kalaru, you really just want to keep the momentum up. I don't think a tier 3 is really on the radar. I love this little sneak attack here with the lizards. Unfortunate that this cabin is going to take some hits, but hey, shouldn't be the biggest deal in the world. Yeah, he's got 8 lizards coming by. Too bad there's not like a ramp over here, but he could try to sneak in that way, but I think Vincent's units are just right in the correct spot to prevent that from happening. You know, Vincent can really stand like kind of where these mines are here and protect his entire 2 bases from any kind of lizard run by. Vincent's army's looking pretty good here. He's moving forward. Kalaru's lizards are not in the right spot, but maybe they can come around for a cool flank attack. Here we go. All the army is engaging in together now as Vincent is still pushing forward. Those lizards on the side just really didn't do a whole lot. And this choke, man, this choke has been a really big part of this game. I think Kalaru just kind of had to take this space over here. You know, these ferrets are really abusing this choke because you can't just sit around if you're Kalaru and let these ferrets shell you to death, right? You got to come out and contest them. However, time and time again, he's just got to go through this very, very narrow path here. But Vincent's taking it slow. You know, Kalaru's definitely still in this, not doing his best to not overextend. Both these players have been very, very safe with how quickly they're saturating up that second base. I think that's really respectable. It's very easy to just throw down a whole bunch of farms. I know I like to do that. But these guys are, you know, clashing into each other, and then in between the skirmishes, after they're reinforcing, they're like, okay, I can sneak in another farm, I can get my economy going a little bit better. But that second base saturation is really going to be what these players are relying on here soon. The first ferret actually finally did fall in that last engagement. Shows you how well Vincent's been doing with his ferret control all game. But now it's going to be difficult for him to really build that second one. Kalaru's kind of in the similar spot with his skunks because there's so many tier 1 warrens that are getting prioritized. Finally, that second one queues up for Vincent. And these main bases are going to be we're going to be running fallow very soon. And we're just going to be on this 2-base economy. But again, the players have been doing a really good job of staying toe-to-toe on eco. I mean, look at this army graph, too. It's been very up and down. You know, Vincent's kind of maintained a little bit of a lead on the graph, but Kalaru's been taking engagements very nicely. And he's just trying to find an angle to get in. Ooh, that skunk is pretty far out. Vincent's going to jump on it, but not quite get it. It gets microed back just in time. However, it hasn't really contributed a lot to this fight. Wasn't able to throw down very much skunk gas, and that skunk getting out of position might have been the straw to break the camel's back here for Kalaru. As Vincent pushes forward, he took a lot of free damage there, or it wasn't that he took free damage per se, but it was really that skunk didn't contribute much to that fight since it had to run away rather than throwing down gas clouds there. And there goes the second base. A huge pickup for Vincent. These ferrets continuing to shell down. The skunk is going to go down as well. And is this where Kalaru taps? It is indeed. Nice victory there for Vincent. Okay. Let's keep things moving and grooving. I don't really have a whole lot of announcements tonight. The tournament with Jet was a lot of fun. I guess that was the last thing that I did in the scene. That was over on Jet Erickson's channel. And yeah, we've got the 21 Generals episodes coming up this weekend, so let's keep this moving. Match number 2. Speaking of these two guys, in the bottom left, we've got Big Pimpin' Tosh and his opponent to the right, Jet Erickson. Both these guys, other casters and tournament organizers and Twitch hosts as well in the scene. Let's see how well they can play here. Tosh is always doing crazy stuff, man. I like his comp. Alright, you're always gonna get me a little excited with double tier 3. Wolf Owl seems pretty cool. I guess the Wolf Ear will stack fairly nicely with the Chameleons. Or Buffed Up Owl. That's not something we see every day, but when we do see it, it's pretty interesting. Those mice going absolutely bananas. Meanwhile, Jet has a bit more of a tried and true bruiser composition. He's going for that 4-farm double. Tosh did scout it. He responds with a 5-farm double, so pretty textbook response here, but this map is pretty small, and Jet did build his units out as far as possible, so he's going to move in, and he's going to grab this farm over here that is by itself thanks to the new patch where it is RNG how those farms are placed. That's absolutely huge. Jet is going to keep on bullying Tosh here, picking up another farm, only losing a single lizard thus far, so very, very effective opening rush here. Yeah, Jet's got to be happy with that, and pretty interesting, he's going to double down. He's just going to build more lizards here instead of try to farm up, and maybe this is the right decision. It's going to be hard for Jet to play catch-up at this point, so for Tosh to play catch-up, so Jet is just looking for the killing blow. He wants to wait for a few more lizards and just try to end this game right now. So Jet is waiting. Okay, maybe he's not going to commit so hard. No, he's just going to build some farms. I mean, he might as well. He's just spending his money. But I'm curious if Jet is actually going to follow up with a 9-lizard attack here. He's probably deciding whether or not he wants to. Maybe he's decided against it because Tosh didn't do anything greedy, like try to go back up to 8 farms immediately. You know, Tosh kind of respected the position that he's in and built an appropriate amount of warrens. But knowing Jet, I'm still a little surprised he didn't at least try for a follow-up attack. But, you know, that's the beauty of Tooth and Tail. You got to make decisions based on your scouting intel. And Jet has, I suppose, decided in this position, not worth trying to come back in. Instead, he's going to look for a little bit of a unique angle. Or no, okay, he is finally going to come in. He waited quite some time. But he's got a serious unit advantage here. However, keep in mind, Tosh is on the defense. He gets that extra DPS from the pigs. He gets the extra tanking from the structures. And that pig even goes up. So Jet did manage to snag a couple extra warrens there. But Tosh is not down and out just yet. Yeah, this is so aggressive from Jet. I actually like this a lot. Following up with a Chameleon. Chameleons are very good units at just punching your opponent in the face. So let's see what he decides to do from here. Got a little bit of a lull. It looks like Tosh is going to try to get up to the snakes. And, you know, the snakes not going to do incredibly well against the comp from Jet, right? Like, the lizards do well against the snakes. I guess they can do good against the chameleons if they happen to get off some decent tags. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, are we going to get to second base here is kind of the question on my mind, or are we just going straight all in on this? Again, Jet still has a big advantage. He's dealt a considerable amount of damage this game. You know, he knocked out 2 farms, he knocked out 2 warrens. He probably won those engagements, you know, as far as pound for pound amount of tier 1 traded. Grabs that proxy warren, but I think it's a little too far away to really be a tank mill. And here we go, Jet's gonna jump in. Is this gonna work is the question. The Snakes are doing a great job on defense so far. 1 warren goes down, but yeah, the defender's advantage here for Tosh was absolutely monumental. And a little bit of a bold attack here from Jet. And now Tosh is on the counter attack. Move it in, gonna grab this Gristmill for free that Jet took, and now Jet's in trouble. I'm pretty surprised. Can Jet come back into this game? Like, man, that's crazy how efficiently Tosh took that engagement. Just really shows you the value of Defender's advantage. And we're past the 5-minute mark, so players do kind of have to wrap this up or take an expansion or something. And Tosh looks like he's not interested in going to 2 base here. He's grabbing that extra campfire, keeping his economy a little bit of supplemental income here coming in. We've got a bit of a standstill for the moment. As Tosh is moving in to the side. Is he going to wait for the rest of his army to catch up, or is he going to attack just with the lizards here? Let's see. Yeah, he waits for everything. Jet should know he's in this position. I'm curious if Jet wants to use his lizards and maybe jump on these snakes. And he's going to take the engagement. He sees the writing on the wall. He wants to get out here and initiate the fight. Actually went very nicely for Jet. A lot better than I thought it would. Really showing the strength of the chameleons in direct engagements like this. Patosh has his own chameleons coming up. And this tank mill is not insignificant. I'm a little bit surprised Jet, well, I guess it makes sense. Jet probably didn't want to take the fight on the low ground. He didn't really have these warrens here, so he didn't want to get stuck in the position where Tosh wins the fight and then picks up a pig or something like that. But the reinforcing attack here from Tosh is coming in. Now Tosh has got some chameleons to work with, but not enough supporting units, and Jet is able to clean those chameleons up no problem and push Tosh back. Now he's going to pick up this forward mill. No, he decides against it for the time being. Nice little pickup there from the Snakes. Grabbing that warren for free. But is Tosh going to run out of the steam is the question. Well, I guess he does have this mill here. But it is a pretty dangerous mill to actually invest farms on. Most likely what Tosh is going for with that mill is to just gain some extra territory and be able to tank with it a little bit if there's a direct fight that happens nearby. Jet pushes forward. Gonna try to take this attack. He's only got tier 1 here. Nice target fire from Tosh. Really trying to maximize the value from the snake, tagging as many different things as possible. Man, this game is so back and forth. It's insane. But Tosh is gonna run out of steam soon. He doesn't have an income anymore. He's just got this cabin, which is giving him a very, very tiny amount of food. Basically 1 farm. So we got 1 farm versus 2. Which doesn't sound insane, but, you know, that's double income here for Jet. Farm goes down on this gristmill, but that's a very big point of weakness here. You know, Jet can punch in on this farm pretty easily, take that out. That would definitely be my plan if I was Jet. Tosh is just trying to buy time. He does have his juicy snakes out, but again, snakes for Squizzard, not exactly what you're looking for. But it's better than nothing. Alright, Jet's moving in. Gonna try to pounce on these snakes. And this might be enough to do it here. Oh my god, how is this game so close? Does the pig go down? The pig lives. Oh my gosh, and now Jet is just lemmings his lizard's end, really trying to get that last pig and can't quite get it. Is this a comeback for Tosh? Sells off the snakes, realizes he just needs more tier 1, maybe an extra pig if he can really afford it. This is crazy. So we're basically like reset to a brand new game here. With both players just within spitting distance of each other. Jet does have a little bit of extra money, but Tosh is slow. Well, actually, no, he's got the campfire still, so it's three farm versus 3 farm at the moment. This is very intense because both players really want to sneak out another pig, but it's very difficult. Jet's going to go ahead and queue one up after an additional Warren. Tosh probably wants to do the same thing, but he's going to come in. He's going to see what Jet has. He sees 4 Warrens. Ooh, he's going to try to look for a sneaky pickup here. Can he get it? This would be huge. He does get the building farm. Very nicely done. His lizards might make it home. Jet's trying to intercept. One lizard goes down, and now we got a big engagement coming on. This should favor Tosh, though, with the defender's advantage here with those pigs helping out, shooting their little pistols. This is kind of cool by Tosh. Like, in between the battles, he's trying to relocate some of these Warrens. You know, not be so spread out, kind of decrease the rush distance. Alright, Jet is down to 1 farm. Tosh actually has the unit and economy lead here. I don't even know what to say anymore, man. This is just very, very close. It looks like Tosh is slowly edging a lead. That pickup with the lizards was absolutely monumental. Jet is trying to get back in this, trying to build farms where he can. But now Tosh is going to come pressure in. He smells weakness. And Jet sees the writing on the wall, taps out. And Tosh takes a very cool back and forth tier 1, tier 2 match there. All right, let's keep moving and grooving. Match number 3. Spawning to the rights, we have this guy and his opponent up top, the gentleman. All right, this guy's experimenting a little, it looks like, this game. He can't go too far away from his roots, right? Like, he's got to have that squirrel, pigeon, skunk in there. But changing it up a little bit, going toads, probably just has an anti-lizard pickup. You know, we actually saw toads do pretty nicely in the Vyashul Kwalnez tournament. So I wouldn't count them out just yet. But the barbed wire already is a pretty cool combo, very map dependent. You know, maybe you use them in conjunction. Perhaps his thought process here is build the expensive artillery cannon and defend it with the barbed wire. You know, kind of surrounding it. But dude, it would be so sick if we saw this guy take that expo and then put an artillery right there. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, the gentleman's got a pretty good-looking deck here. I think you could kind of take the shell of what the gentleman's doing, those first 5 units, and replace that wolf with whatever you want. But in this case, the wolf is definitely going to help out, buffing up those falcons, buffing the chameleons in the late game. These commanders here just getting dirty. It's actually a lot of dirt effect. I don't think I've noticed that before. I wonder if that's only on... I wonder if it's only that visible on this tile set, this winter, you know, because there's such a high contrast between the snowy ground. It's kind of interesting. Okay, this guy, sneaky expansion over to the left. Yeah, he definitely wants to do some artillery cheese. Maybe he's thinking he can get one down up here on this high ground without the gentleman noticing. And gonna follow it up with a pretty straightforward opening. So if you're the gentleman scouting this out, you say, okay, that looks normal, right? You're not too suspicious, you know. People might say, oh, he's missing 60 food, but I don't think you really notice that. I don't think 60 food's enough missing to where you're like, something's up. All right, now he probably thinks something's up because the tier 2 is gone. He just scattered it out. He didn't see anything like a tier 3. He doesn't see anything like an expansion. Oh my god. Oh my god, the gentleman. No. Okay, he sees the expo. He sees the hidden expo. And I think if he just rallies his units, they're going to give him vision on the arty. But this guy doesn't care. Doesn't care about that gristmill at all. Actually comes in while the gentleman is out and about. Picks up a corner farm there. Yeah, I agree. You know he's missing food now, but I don't think on the first scout you knew he was missing food, right? Where he was just missing the 60. But like after you follow up scouted and his tier 2 was sold, then yeah, at that point it's like, okay, something's not right. Gentleman with a nice follow-up attack here though. Lots of tier 2 involved. Really punishing this guy for coming in earlier on. And now this artillery is up and running, but this guy, artillery is awesome, but undefended. It's not going to be able to just beat everything. And this guy knows it and sells it off. It's a nice recovery by this guy. He gets some damage done, you know. He makes the gentleman freak out a little bit. He knocks out some Warrens. But the gentleman's not screwing around anymore. He wants to clean up this gristmill down here. He's probably hesitant. Yeah, he doesn't want to put himself out of position to do it. So just going to send the chameleons down there to get that done. And meanwhile, building up a bunch of tier 1. So this is pretty clear he wants a follow-up attack. However, this guy has tons and tons of tier 1 of his own. And a lot of toads here. So he's looking for some big, juicy toad connections to just wipe everything out. Let's see if this can get the job done. AoE damage moving in. But not a whole lot of toads actually on the board yet. Just a lot of Warrens. And that was pretty sweet. So how does the gentleman want to respond to this? So far he's just trying to keep the squirrel skunk style. He does have 2 chameleons even though that Warren was eliminated earlier on. And this guy's moving in with some squad action. These toads getting some nice hits. Knocking out only a single chameleon though. Yeah, that single toad on the toads, or single target damage is pretty nice. But he's losing a lot of value in these toads as well. Keep that in mind. You know, toad can't do its job without dying, so. This guy following up again. Moving forward with the squirrel toad attack, trying to be careful with his micro on these toads, really trying to get the right connections. Gentleman trying to pull back, but a couple of the toads do finally hit. However, the skunk still stands strong. Is it going to be enough to push this guy back, though, is the question. One of the warheads does fall. And we've had some really aggressive games tonight. Like, you know, we're past that 5-minute mark again. Economies are going to start going down. This guy pushing back in, rinsing and repeating, just a huge tier 1 attack. He's been doing a good job of adjusting how many warrens he has based on his economy, you know, like at first it was like 15 squirrels and 15 toads. Now we've come all the way down to 9 and 3. Yeah, now he even sells off the remainder of those squirrels there. But the gentleman's still got these skunks alive. And as long as he can keep these value gas trains a-blowing, this guy is going to be in a world of hurt. Nicely done by the gent, getting back, healing those units up. And this is Gent's game to lose at this point, you know. He's got the same amount of tier 1 plus some skunks. This guy's looking around for an extra base, trying to gauge if the gentleman's got the same economy as he does, and the answer is yes. The gentleman is not looking so hot there either. Kind of funny that the gentleman is not in starvation because that farm that this guy picked off earlier on, you know, getting rebuilt by the gentleman, now it has some extra time on it. This guy wants to try to hold the fort over here. Gonna take this engagement, try to kill these skunks, but the gentleman's micro is not gonna let it happen. And that's probably gonna be it. This guy's just doing a little scout about before he taps here. Did reset that starvation timer, but this game is essentially over. Nicely done by the gentleman. This guy did get his arty cheese tactic off, but wasn't able to defend the arty. And from there, the gentleman just was able to take it with a lot of tier 1 backed up by a little bit of tier 2. This guy tried holding on with some squod, but in the end, the defensive gentleman was just too much. Yeah, definitely memeing with the arty, I agree. It was a cool strat though, and honestly, it could have worked if this guy was in better position to defend it. I think he kind of poked the bear early on with that initial attack that got the corner pig. You know, maybe if he kind of try to buy his time a little bit, or take a little bit of a, how do I put it, like a little bit more of a delayed engagement on like the east side of the map away from the arty, so that way when the arty actually finished building and started shelling down on the gentleman's units, the gentleman had to like decide like, do I keep engaging with this guy or do I go deal with that? But also keep in mind that this guy had to put down 240 food to place that arty, in between the cost of that defense of unit and the structure of building that gristmill. So pretty cool match. Let's keep moving though into match number 4. In the bottom, we've got QQ and his opponent up top, Kerpa. Alright, we see some Fox, we see some Boar. I like Kerpa's deck, to be honest. I like both these decks a lot, actually. I'm really curious how Balloon works out in this meta. I'm actually thinking the style QQ's going for, like maybe turrets wouldn't be so bad nowadays because moles are not like an auto include in every deck, you know? I think people still kind of use moles from time to time, but moles are one of these weird units where, you know, when they're too good, just like slightly, they're just in every single comp. And then when you have something like moles in every single composition, turrets just kind of get pushed out of the meta because the moles do so well with dealing with them. But now that we see things like lizards taking the place of that, you know, maybe turrets have a bit more merit. They actually build really, really fast too, which is something to keep in mind. But yeah, I like both these decks for different reasons. I think, hold that thought, we do have, I missed a little bit of action here on the front. I apologize. Looks like Kerpa tried to get aggressive. I don't know if anyone's actually attacked one another yet, or if that was just a scout. I feel like Kerpa probably initiated this, and QQ responded, because we have lizard versus squirrel here. Yeah, so I don't think anything's actually happened yet. Like, I don't think any units have died, right? Okay, here comes Kerpa with the attack. So he waited, he actually went for a 5-farm triplet here. But QQ's got squirrels, he's got toads, and he's respecting this. He didn't go straight up to 8 farms or anything like that. Alright, Kerpa gonna try to push in here. Gets a Warren, not bad. That Toad actually only hit like one lizard too, so I think that engagement went fine for Kerpa, all things considered. But he's not in a good spot because QQ got his additional farms up a little bit faster. So let's see how Kerpa wants to play it out from here. Staying very aggressive. We've been very, very aggressive tonight. Going up to 4 tier 1 Warrens before the 8 farms. So yeah, unless Kerpa can really bring it with a sharp timing here, utilizing these faster Warrens, I'm definitely liking QQ's position. And this is a map where a sharp timing like that's probably not going to happen. These units got to walk so far to get down there. Kerpa's selling some things off. Okay, just kind of switching up his tier 1 comp, getting into some chameleons as well. QQ looks like he wants to play a bit of a longer game here. Getting that second base at a reasonable time. Actually going real hard on that second base. I wonder if he's going to sell farms or not there. No, he keeps them all. So half saturation. Quite a bold move from QQ. But again, I actually don't hate it on this map. I think it's a smart move. He kind of won that early game fairly nicely, so he's got a little bit of breathing room, right? He knows what his opponent's up to. And this map is so big and wonky that by the time Kerpa marches down south to attack QQ, he should have enough to defend. And also, there's only really one attack path that Kerpa can come in, because this is all like pocket. You know, there's no ramps over here for his units to kind of wiggle their way through. And this balloon is going to do such a good job of just defending all the real estate from QQ here. You know, that balloon easily defends these 3 bases. You can even make the argument of it defending this 4th one. And it's going to be a difficult balloon to take out because it's got so much water around it. QQ also gets the scout of the boar Warren, but Kerpa here on the other side of things is going for a timing. He wants to get that boar out, and he wants to YOLO in there and try to just win the game. It might work. Building a lot of mines, though. Maybe he's worried about getting attacked, but he has seen a lot of eco and a lot of balloons out of his opponent. Even more balloons now coming down from QQ. QQ, I love this response. 8 falcons. Try to deal with that boar. He needs to be careful, though. I don't think the ferrets are the right move at this moment. I think he needs a little bit more just like straight up squirrels on the ground to buffer for these falcons. But yeah, I mean, this is the textbook response. You know, you scout that board. He scouted it very early. And he's building a bunch of balloons. He's building the falcons. So this timing push from Kerpa is just not going to work. And he doesn't necessarily have to do a timing push. And it looks like he's thinking about changing things up here as he's building several farms on this second base. Let's see how many he goes up to. Yeah, if you're going for that board timing, you might have like 2 farms on the second base. And typically not this many. Has he seen the additional balloons? Yeah, he sees 2 of them out of the 3. So yeah, I think Kerpa's just going to hang back for now. Nice due diligence by QQ here, just checking for any kind of hidden bases on the map. Anything crazy like that. And Kerpa again gonna move in. Yeah, he just saw the big flock of falcons. There's no way you march into that. So Kerpa's got to scratch his head and figure out what he's gonna do now. Do you transition over to like a crazy amount of lizards? Do you just keep building up and hope in the late game your comp will work out? Like, what do you do? I actually wouldn't hate 1,000,000 lizards here, right? Is that a smart move? If you just sell everything and build like 1,000,000,000 lizards? Because the lizards will do good against the falcons, they'll do good against the balloons. They'll even do good against the fox, but Kerpa's not aware of the fox. And he's probably not going to get the scout on it because this is just a wall of balloons here from QQ. And I actually think QQ's in a good position to do a balloon creep. If Kerpa is a bit too timid on this map. You know, QQ's going to take this base, he's going to sell off a couple of these back balloons, and he's going to rebuild the balloons up here. Probably start with building balloons on this high ground. Like, I would place one, like, right there on that corner of that territory. And that's going to be a phenomenal spot for his fox and his ferrets to kind of poke in and out. It's going to deny Kerpa of ever getting a third base. So yeah, this looks like dire straits for Kerpa to me. Let's see if he can pull a rabbit out of a hat here. And think of something to come back. And it's pretty interesting because we haven't really even seen, like, big engagements, you know. This has been very, like, chess move positioning, if that makes sense. Like QQ's at a big advantage at the moment. Like, hasn't really been taking pieces, but he's been getting everything positioned, like, right where he needs to. And yeah, these balloons, I would even put the balloons a little bit further out, but gonna be safe with the first couple. Oh, the mines! Oh my god, this fox hits one mine! Okay, alright, that is always a panic mode when you're a fox player. Because now you're just paranoid. Yeah, now you have to mine sweep. And he's only got a few squirrels. So a couple of these squirrels are going to start moving around looking for mines. Not going to pick any up. Kerpa is going to try to defend his mines. And more importantly, information with these chameleons. You don't want to let your opponent mine sweep. And very good defense from Kerpa. And that's one thing that is kind of missing in QQ's army. He's a little bit light on the tier 1. Being very bold here, taking this base, saying, no man, you are now about to get contained. I've got ferrets, I've got a fox, I've got balloons, I've got a whole bunch of falcons. If you actually just try to come in. And Kerpa's going for it. He doesn't have a whole lot of choice. Once these balloons get up, he's just going to be really trapped here. And the sheer amount of tier 1 from Kerpa is actually busting through at the moment. QQ's moving back. He does have a lot of his units still up and running. The 3 ferrets will do fairly nicely against tier 1, surprisingly. But a lot of these falcons going down. And yeah, this big switch to squirrels here from Kerpa actually getting the job done. The fox goes down, all the ferrets go down. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that went so well for Kerpa. I really think QQ got a bit greedy with going for so many ferrets here. And being too not enough squirrels, really. I don't know where I was going, I apologize. My brain's at like half capacity at the moment. Yeah, I didn't realize that either until QQ was like up here with his balloons. I was like, wait a minute, it's like 6 squirrels to 30. And Kerpa was able to rail in. You know, QQ had a lot of these really strong support utility units, like the falcons, the ferrets, the fox, the balloons, but you need a meat shield up there, man. You need a tank to get that to take that damage. Some moles or some squirrels or something. But can QQ come back? Did Kerpa overextend? I thought Kerpa had it in the bag, but no, this counterattack from QQ. He's able to re-rally just enough forces, but not a whole lot's left. Again, only the Falcons. The Falcons go down so quickly without anything defending them. Just a handful of squirrels able to clean it up. And QQ is able to make it back out with the ferrets remaining, which is very good for him. Because now he can try to extract additional value with these ferrets, but both these bases gone. All the balloons gone. Kerpa's got the better economy. God, that's so crazy. Look at that army value graph. Like, QQ had such a big lead. It's like QQ did all this fancy positioning with his comp, right? And reading against what his opponent was doing. And Kerpa played smart, too. I know I focused a lot on what QQ was doing this game, but you know, Kerpa deciding not to attack in just blindly with his boar, to hold back, and scratched his head and was like, okay, well, what's his comp weak against? It's weak against a lot of tier 1. Yeah, it's almost like QQ did all these, like, chess positioning things on the board, but just left himself open, and, like, Kerpa's queen just comes in and puts his king in check or something. It's like, damn it, I didn't see that. So many scrappy games tonight. This is a phase of the game that's really important. Knowing what to sell, what your economy can actually support. Kerpa needs to sell down a little bit farther, I think. Yeah, he's going to sell a couple more. Wants to keep those toads. Okay, yeah, gets rid of them. I agree with that. Toads are a little bit of a luxury, you know? I see toads as one of those units that doesn't necessarily have to be cost effective. It just needs to get the job done. And Kerpa with a really cool comeback this round. Nicely done. Okay, where are we at? We are at our P-Boop 2v2. Let's get... Oh. That's not good. Oh, whoops, wrong game. Error? Corrupted replay. I've never seen that one. I see desync. That's okay. We have a backup replay from Premium Bow. He just sent one in. Bam. Let me set this up real quick. The backup bow. Thanks everyone for tuning in. As always, we got some more 21 Generals action coming up on Sunday, so be prepared for that. Alright, let's go into this one. Okay, spawning up top, we've got Saint Abroad and Premium Bow, and their opponents in the bottom, Dark Ingu and James. What do we got here? We got a nice diversity of Tier 3, which is always fun. We haven't seen a lot of Tier 3 just quite yet tonight. We did see the boar out of Kerpa, which really did help win the game. It tanked so much damage for Kerpa's squirrels to get in there and knock out those juicy units like the Fox and the Falcons. Let's see if Dark Ingu can make some use of this game. 5 farm openings from 2 players here. Is James doing something crazy with his moles? He is. Let's see if these players have seen it yet. Doesn't look like it. Alright, who's going to get moled? Nice. Gets that actually wasn't sold. So James getting a ton of value out of these moles. Knocks out a pig, knocks out a Warren. He's still going. Now the lizard's up. And he's going to get punished. Going to lose both the moles, but we'll be able to sell off that Warren and get out of there. I think James is very happy with that engagement. Yeah, we see a lot of pre-8 farm tier 1. Kind of to be expected in 2v2s. And James trying to get up the Chameleon, but sells it after his opponent Scout goes away. He sold everything. What are you doing, James? Oh, man. How are you going to get me hyped like that? Sells everything, gets to like 170 food. I'm like, oh, tier 3? No, no tier 3. Not quite yet. This is a great spot for some barbed wire, too. I think, yeah, there actually is an attack path through there. No, you can't actually get there. So this is technically a path, but through this terrain over here, all the rocks, the crates and barrels and such, can't actually get through. Saint Abroad not afraid of this barbed wire at all. Gonna run right through with a handful of lizards and get absolutely eviscerated there. That barbed wire being worth its weight in gold. And the blue and yellow team is gonna keep powering up. This map looks decent for both sides. Blue and yellow don't really have access to thirds very easily, but everybody's got a chance to get a second, you know. 3 bases up here. I would probably take that as my second base if I was green or red. And these 2 Gristmills in the middle, going to be real hard for either team to actually take. Yeah, here's the tier 3 coming in. All right, we got a wolf on the way. We got a boar on the way. Where'd the boar get placed? Oh, I'm sorry. Both tier 3 coming out of our southern team here. Which man, look at that. Ugh. That is so efficient. Can we just take a second to appreciate those 2 pieces of barbed wire protecting 4 bases? That is a work of art. Alright, Premium Bow moving in. He's got some ferrets. He really wants to take this base, and if he gets it and he starts building artillery right in the range of his opponents, it's going to be bad news bears for them. Now, I don't think they've scouted the tier 3, of their enemies, and blue and yellow really don't have a whole lot to contest this with since they've invested so much of their money into tier 3 at the moment. Oh, I looked away for a second. I didn't see if those balloons were sold or if they actually went down. And Premium Bow breaking through. The blue and yellow team with not quite enough time to get these juicy tier 3 units up, and they've been scouted now. One of the Warrens getting deleted already. Premium Bow found a good spot up here on the high ground, but this push will eventually be cleaned up. However, a lot of damage was dealt to James. Dark Ingu's still sitting okay. He's still got his second base up. He's got the boar now. Gonna roasty-toasty that gristmill down and keep pushing forward. What do they have to really defend this? They have a lot of tier 1. They got the ferrets, but they don't really have anything like snakes or falcons or a fox that could do a really good job of dealing with this boar. They're just gonna have to work with what they've got. Premium Bow trying to come in, trying to attack the supporting units of the boar, leave that boar all by itself, and eventually knock it out. That's one way to peel the onion. All these lizards trying to get on the boar, but the boar is just too much. That flamethrower roasting all those lizards. Nice little attack over here with the chameleons, though. Gonna deny that base, which is important because we're past the 5-minute mark. So second bases are about to be critical in this game. Jeez, I'm surprised how much counter damage blue and yellow were able to get done with the boars here. And Dark Ingu is like, that works so well, I want another one. Second boar warren on the way. If these balloons get up, that's exactly what they need to keep this boar at bay, but nice timing here from blue and yellow. Stop those from going up. Saint's gonna try to move them back here, but one of them actually goes down. The boar just deals so much damage so quickly to structures. What's the plan for green and red? Premium Bow is just trying to get up a decent amount of just regular units, nothing crazy. 4 snakes is a little bit much, but he is against the boar, so that kind of makes sense. There's also a lot of chameleons, which the snakes do okay against. James is just going very, very big on these cams here. Almost got up to 6 of them. But the economy for Premium Bow is the best on the map. You know, Dark Ingu's economy is pretty good too. And Saint Abroad is running out of juice here, unfortunately. Not able to really establish that second base. Trying to get up these balloons again. The balloons are going to do such a good job against all these units from... I mean, most of the units that blue and yellow have can't even shoot up. Here come the snakes. That's a lot of snakes from Premium Bow, so they're finally going to push the opponents out. But they need to do more than that. They need to actually secure more territory on the map for Saint Abroad to get a second base. And hell, Premium Bow is going to need a third pretty soon. Premium Bow has a powerful army here coming out on the map to contest. If Premium Bow can establish this position, that'll allow Saint to take one of these back grist mills and start to get back into the game. But blue and yellow are not going to sit around and let P-Boop have his way. They're pushing in again here, and this boar is going to be able to clean up the grist mill, probably. Trying to be real careful, though. Just a single snake stack gets on that board, it's going to get slowed, and then additional snake stacks will get on it very easily. A lot of chameleons went down in that engagement. And Premium Bow and Saint Abroad are able to hold this position for now. Saint Abroad needs to get up another base, which is trying to help with these balloons at the moment. Another big attack here coming in. This time around, yellow and green are able, or yellow and blue rather, are able to take the mill. continuing to push forward, needs to be careful. I'm actually impressed. Like, Ingu's done a pretty good job this game microing his boar and preventing those snake stacks from getting on it. Woody Pond, what's up, man? Thanks for the raid. What are you doing? Streaming some ladder? Getting all them internet points? Good to see you, man. We saw that crazy game between you and Jet earlier. This is starting to look good for Premium Bow, man. He's trying to handle it here. He's trying to just take over this map. If he can get this position, if he can allow Saint Abroad to kind of nuzzle up there in that 9 o'clock position, start building some farms, start getting back into it, he could have a chance here. However, yellow and blue are coming in strong. James pushing out with a ton of moles. Again, trying to keep his boar back. Really doesn't want to get any stacks of poison on that. But another great defense here from Premium Bow. This balloon from Saint Abroad really helping out a lot too. This is starting to become a game about numbers though. Like, jeez, look at that army graph. The blue and yellow have had second bases for so long. And Premium Bow has had a nice economy as well. But Saint Abroad has just been crippled for a very long time in this game. This constant harassment with these ferrets, I love to see it, man. It's so much fun to do. So annoying to play against. Here we go, Mole Snake. Pulling the trigger here, moving forward on Premium Bow's position. This balloon in the back getting a lot of damage done. Yellow gonna try to target it, but that seems like a mistake. You know, he just dragged his army through everything of his opponents, and this boar is finally caught out of position. Million stacks of snake poison are going to take that down, but James going for the throat. Trying to mold cheese, just run by, eliminate everything he can. Saint Abroad is starving. Premium Bow's in a 1v2 position. The blue and yellow just don't have a whole lot to their name either. Oh, we got Misk Liquor streaming Tooth and Tail right now? Oh my god. I'm hyped for that, man. Alright, Premium Bow pushing in. He's been in like a 1v2 for so long this game. Definitely tip of the hat to him. Could he actually come back and win this? Dark Ingu switching it up to lizards. Seeing if that's the way to crack this cake. Meanwhile, James trying to use his resources very effectively. The lizards hop onto Premium Bow's army and should be able to clean up most of it here. Wow, nicely done. The lizards do a good job against tier 2 like snakes and ferrets there. Saint Abroad actually knocked out of the game. James is starving. Dude, every replay tonight, for the most part, has just been so down to the wire, it's insane. Alright. Premium Bow's got a powerful army, but he's still in a 1v2 situation in Ingu. With so many lizards here, Premium Bow really doesn't have anything to deal with these lizards well. He's got some moles that's about as best as it gets for him, but he doesn't have enough. Alright, James, you got 120 bucks. What are you thinking? What you thinking here? A couple mole warrens on the front. A couple more mole warrens in the back door. Premium Bow advancing forward. It's basically 1v1 here as James is out of money, but he's got enough money to be annoying. Here's the big engagement, and the lizards look like they're actually going to win this one, and Premium Bow is going to tap out with James and Dark Ingu taking the match. Very well deserved. All right. Let's keep it moving and grooving. Match number 6. Let's go. Spawning to the right, we have Kalaru. His opponent to the left, Mochaccino. Some pretty cool decks here. Kalaru experimenting with that barbed wire. Barbed wire is cheaper now, isn't it? I think it got a cost reduction on the recent patch here. Both players only rocking Squirrel, though, for the core tier 1. Which is a little bit risky, but, you know, we've seen it work, especially with the pigeons. And overall, I like these comps. I think it's pretty cool. Like, the Squirrel, Pigeon, Falcon, plus another tier 2 is a nice core to work with. And, you know, the Fox versus the Boar, I think either one of them can be fine here. So yeah, I think overall we're in for a good spot. I think both these players have some pretty nice decks. Nothing crazy. We'll just have to see how it plays out. 8 farm openings from both sides. Pretty decent map, I suppose. A little bit awkward here for Kalaru to get to that natural, but not the end of the world. I wonder if he can actually walk through right there. It's very close. Like, you see on the minimap that opening. Like, sometimes when it's just a corner, like a jagged corner meeting, you can't walk through even though there's like a little square missing. But since it's got that opening, I think you can. I actually think Kalaru's commander just walked through there. I like positioning. This is a pretty greedy opening from Kalaru, but it's also, you know, Mochaccino also went mill first. And this is definitely the map to try something weird. Mochaccino's being, like, as greedy as possible. And let's see. Oh, is he just gonna straight Fox? Yeah, do it. Yeah, my boy. All right. That was actually really smart. I didn't think he'd go all the way to the Fox because he saw Mochaccino open up with a Gristmill with a tier 2. And typically, if you're gonna go for this fast Gristmill to like be safe about it, you gotta build up some tier 1. Or the counter to that is, you know, if you're gonna delay that Gristmill, you can get that extra tier 2 out a little bit earlier. But Mochaccino with a very greedy opening here, going for Bofa. And Kalaru responded with a tier 3 that is going to get scouted by Mochaccino, which is very good to know. And he's got some mines, so they might be able to set up a little bit of a mine trap here. But yeah, that was smart from Kalaru. He kind of had one or two choices. It was either turn on the aggression, like he could have sold his farms and built a bunch of tier 1 and just try to punish his opponent for being that greedy, or he could try to be a step greedier. And he went for the latter, went to try to be a bit more greedy than his opponent by getting his own tier 3. To be honest, I expected him to go for a tier 2 instead. Look at all these mines on the map. Has Kalaru seen mines yet? Is the question. Okay, sees a building mine right there. That was huge for Kalaru. Now he knows to be careful with this Fox. And there's a lot of water here, which is going to help heal the Fox in case it takes a mine hit. He's also got pigeons. But he doesn't have a secondary tier 1. This is kind of where I really like having a secondary tier 1, like a mole or a lizard, or even toad, because you could just build one more into those and use those to mine sweep. But he's just going to come out here with the squirrels and try to pick up the mines. Perfectly reasonable. Now the Fox is here for Kalaru. Mochaccino is not slouching either, however. Lots of tier 3 on the table. It does have some chameleon. I mean, not tier 3 law. A third base on the way. He's got chameleons, which can do a good job against Fox as well, and I don't think Kalaru's seen the chameleons just yet. But this is going to be rough. Kalaru's got some great control, and this Fox should just be constantly harassing the opponent. Big eco game from both sides. We haven't seen a lot of these tonight. I guess that QQ Kerpa game kind of turned into an eco game, even though Kerpa wanted to be aggressive, wanted to do that board timing. Ooh, nice job with these skunks. Testing the waters. Actually picks up both those chameleons for one skunk. Very nice. Continuing to minesweep forward here. Is Kalaru gonna lose the skunk? Oh, but the commander for Mochaccino goes down. However, that is a very powerful army here for Mochaccino. Not being microed though. Oh, and the Fox takes a mine hit and gets follow-up annihilated by the Falcons. That is huge for Mochaccino. Their situation just went from bad to amazing. However, Kalaru is not gonna, okay. I was wondering if he was gonna commit to that second Fox or not. Gonna decide against it. Maybe instead build up a bunch of Falcons, get some extra tier 1 out. But great job there by Mochaccino eliminating that Fox. Gonna put up some additional mines here and take a 4th base. Only the 3rd base as far as eco is concerned. 3rd base economy for Kalaru as well. And yeah, we're gonna enter a little bit of a standoff here as these players macro up, try to get a feel for one another. Mochaccino's playing really good. I think they're a little bit newer, so that's nice to see. Kalaru is definitely a veteran, well-respected, high-tier player. Man, we're going to see like every base taken on this map. Now, these players don't have the crazy biggest scaling armies here. They can use their Falcons to scale nicely. Kalaru could try to go into multiple Foxes. I'm not personally a big fan of that. But 2 or 3 Fox, I mean 2 Foxes can kind of be a thing in like the Fox versus Fox matchup, because then you one-shot your opponent's Fox. It can also be nice to, you know, get the extra damage in to one-shot things like skunks and whatnot. But overall, the Fox just isn't a late-game unit that really, a tier 3 rather, that really scales well. I think the best scaling tier 3 is definitely the Owl, and probably followed up by the Badger. Maybe the other way around. Maybe Badger is better, because multiple Badgers is insane. I guess it depends on the situation. Multiple Badgers are better for punching through. But that late-game army composition of, like, Owl, Falcon, Skunk is really cool to see. I haven't been a whole lot of Owls in the meta recently, though. They kind of come and go. Another Fox on the way here for Kalaru. Okay, Kalaru did scout the tier 3 of his opponent. And Kalaru's got a pretty good handle on what's going on. It gets a little bit difficult to scout when the game gets this late, because your opponent's army is just so big. It's real easy to get gunned down before you can actually get in there. Then yeah, let's see when one player or the other kind of feels like they've got a good enough advantage to actually push in and get something done. Might do a little fast forwarding here. That is so many Falcons from both sides. We got a proper late macro game here. Lots of mines, lots of barbed wire going down. These guys are like neck and neck right now. It's insane. 17 mines, 17 wire. Okay, second Fox, yeah. I can understand a second Fox. Second board, too. We're getting some proper Big Daddy armies here. Look at this. Alright, the Fox harassment's coming in, and Mochaccino doesn't really have a whole lot to deal with that effectively, so the little poke in between the fights could be a thing. But no, here's the big clash. Here's the moment we've been waiting for, as both armies just ram into one another. So many flying units, it's kind of hard to tell what's actually going on, who's got the lead here. And it looks like Mochaccino is pushing through, but this Fox is going to do a good job trying to clean this up. It does one-shot the Falcons, so keep that in mind. This Boar is just going to run in, try to get as much value as possible, but these respawning Falcons should be able to take it down eventually. And Mochaccino won the fight up front, but he might have overextended there. I think he undervalued how good this Fox can be in that defensive situation. And now the counterattack is approaching here from Kalaru. Ooh, oh, is Mochaccino gonna try something fresh? He did still have the Boar Warren. That's so many Falcons. Kalaru gets another 10 Falcons up. He's still got a couple. No, the Fox eventually does go down to the mines. Can't really blame him though. There's so many damn mines on the map right now. And Mochaccino is gonna try to come in for one last hoorah here, but I think Kalaru's just got too much, has dealt too much damage. Mochaccino's gonna tap out. Kalaru takes the match. Oh man, did I miss the Fox in between two mines? That would have been sick. That was some cool Fox play though. That first mine hit killing your Fox broke my heart already at that point. Alright guys, match number 7. Let's do it. Let's do it. In the bottom right, we've got Illuminatus and his opponent to the top left, Blue Coon. Okay, Eel. Rockin' Fox turret, let's see it. Let's see it happen. This is a cool matchup. I'm pretty excited for this. I think Blue Coon and Eel are both pretty evenly matched. Eel gonna start off with a Mole Rush, looks like. And okay, Blue did spot Eel, but he didn't see a building farm. Very nice game sense here from Blue Coon. Because there should have been a building farm and there wasn't. Or at least a queued one. Yeah, Blue gets the feeling a little bit of money is missing. Eel is not going to be happy seeing that tier 1 Warren. I wonder if he just sells the Warren and goes home. Yeah, I think that's the correct play here. But he's got to be careful, because Blue Coon's got to come in with those squirrels. He's definitely going to deny this corner pig. A turret's coming up in a decent spot, but not going to quite be in the right position to defend that pig. So Blue Coon getting a phenomenal start in this game. Knocking out a pig. That Mole Rush just completely backfiring there for Eel. And let's see how he tries to salvage it. Goes ahead and sells off that Warren. Blue's gonna enter this early game with a little bit of an advantage, but again, not crippling damage. He's definitely still got a chance in this. He's just got to try to find... He's kind of on strike 1, you know. He's got to try to find a situation where he can get a little bit of value against his opponent. And maybe Blue Coon overextending against this turret might be the way to do it. And Blue Coon is going to ignore the turret up front, target down those squirrels, target down that pig. Now he's going to go for the turret, but the turret is going to do a good job defending. Yeah, that's what Eel needed. However, I'd still call that a victory for Blue. I think Blue lost a couple more squirrels there, but he killed that pig, which is huge, delaying the economy of your opponent. He's going to follow up attack again. This time, probably not going to attack. He's probably going to attack this north side pig. Nice turret here from Eel. Now he's wrapped up nice and tight, and Blue Coon's not going to be able to continue this aggression. He's got a Chameleon Warrior on the way, though, so he is ready to transition out of just pure squirrelage. Bluefield trying to see what his opponent's up to. Both players trying to get that tier 2 up. I think Eel needs to sell off these turrets here soon. He doesn't really need them anymore. It is deterring the opponent from attacking in, but that's 120 food that's really not helping him at the moment. And Blue Coon's gonna come in for an attack. This turret helps mow down that chameleon on the front. Actually, these turrets are doing a great job of defending this engagement. A little bit bold from Blue Coon to attack in, knowing that there were 2 turrets there. Gonna lose a lot, but he does pick up a pig. So now the players are pretty close. I think we've about it evened out. Yeah, now those turrets get sold. Very high value turrets there from Eel. Eel's gonna try to push up onto this high ground. Start claiming a little bit more territory on the map. Blue Coon already going for that second base. Eel hasn't committed to it just yet, so is he gonna try to Mac Daddy in there? No, he's just gonna very carefully expand. I think he's being a little overly cautious, but better safe than sorry, I suppose. I like the turrets here though, because once he takes this gristmill, you put a turret up here in this choke, like he can pretty much put a turret in like firing range of his opponent's second base. That's going to be really deadly. And that's going to force Blue Coon to just come in once those turrets go up. Yeah, imagine just throwing a turret down right there. Just do it. Ooh, he needs to be careful trying to poke out against lizards. The snake does get away, and the lizards get very punished for attempting that there. So Blue Coon is starting to get behind in this game by a fairly significant amount. He had a really good opening, right? Like he sniffed out the mole attack. He counterattacked, he got some damage done. But then he got a little bit greedy, trying to end the game, trying to attack into those turrets. And now that he's chased that snake back, lost so many lizards there, you know, I'm really starting to think Eel might be a bit ahead in this match. Man, just do it. Just build a turret right there. Oh, I want him to build a turret there so badly. It needs to be done. Nice job from the chameleons this time around, denying that snake harassment, picking up a snake. That's exactly what Blue Coon needed. Just build a turret there. Oh man. This is triggering me. I'm triggered right now. Like I want it so badly. It's not even like it's not even, it's hard to explain. It's not like he has to do that, right? Like it's 100% correct to do it, but man, wouldn't you just throw a turret right there? Like I need to see it. Has to happen. Fox on the way. Maybe he doesn't want to trigger Blue Coon to attack. Maybe that's why he's being a little careful with his turret placements. Because if you're Blue Coon and you see him start building turrets right there, you just gotta contest that. So Eel's probably gonna wait for this fox. I think Blue just saw the fox. Yeah, he knows the fox is coming. Gonna try to get out some falcons to deal with that, but he's got plenty of tools to deal with the fox. You know, to be honest, most of his units in his deck are good against fox. Really, just not the squirrel or the falcon. Everything else, a-okay. And Eel needs to save up a bit of cash. Yeah, sell something off. Economies are getting pretty slim here. We're well past the first bases being able to farm anymore, so we're just relying on the second base economy. Blue Coon's got this nice little cheeky second hidden base down here. Has Eel scouted that out? Looks like Eel's looking around for that sort of thing right now, but doesn't quite find it. Oh, all these mines right here. Okay, he sees the mines going down. He knows mines are in the game now. Gonna even pick one up. This time a snake will die, but the rest of them make it out. More and more skunk cloud going down, and blue is pushing in. Brings it back though, doesn't want to overextend, doesn't want to fight underneath those turrets. Right now the fox is here. Now Eel can really start bullying his opponent. Gonna come in. One pig down. Ooh. Barely misses the shot on that second pig. Oh, gets it right there. Nicely done. So what do you do if you're blue? Oh, I like this a lot. Just all the lizards here. Lizards do a good job of chasing down that fox. You can always base race if things get too dicey. And Blue Coon's in a good spot to base race, to be honest. He does have that hidden base over to the west that still has not been scouted by Eel. Eel really wants these snakes to trigger those mines, but mines are so finicky on being triggered nowadays. It's sometimes difficult to get them to activate. Big attack coming in from Blue Coon. Does Eel have enough to defend? It looks like it does. Ooh, okay, mine hits going off. Fox still alive though. Eel's probably gonna hang out until that fox is full HP, however. Snake's coming in. Gonna knock out that second base. So Eel probably thinks he's in like a much better spot than he actually is. He's got to know something's up, and he's gonna come over here and he's finally gonna scout this additional base that's at full saturation. Not gonna be happy about that. Alright, Blue Coon's got 22 lizards. You actually try to hard engage here, and you try to run around and do a base race. He's gonna try to get in. But Eel's got some skunks, he's got some moles, he's got some squirrels. It's just too much for Blue Coon to really contest. Fox moving in, grabbing a couple extra lizards to boot, and now this fox is free reign on all this juicy bacon. And here comes the counter base attack from Blue Coon, but does he have enough lizards? The rest of Eel's army is not really in the position to contest this. Ooh, gonna put Eel down to starvation. That's a lot better than I thought he'd be able to with these lizards. But is Blue gonna tap now? Is the question. Man. If he could have just, like, got this other gristmill, he could have won. But it would have been a very tall order since there wasn't really a whole lot of attack paths for lizards on this map, unfortunately, for Blue. He could have tried to come down here, but I don't think... Oh, no, he did scout it. He did a good job scouting the map. No economy from Eel, but he still has that fox, and the fox is one of the best units in the game in situations like this. Looks like a final attack here from Blue Coon. Gonna knock out that turret. He does have these chameleons. Like, he had a decent amount of lizards earlier. If he could just kill this fox. You know, it's not insane. I keep counting him out, but maybe it's not insane for him to actually live here. Losing that chameleon really, really hurts, though. And it died, like, just barely because of that skunk gas. If he could have kept both those chameleons alive there, that would have been huge. But, you know, Eel doesn't have very much either at this point. Where is Eel's... Okay, he doesn't have an economy. Yeah, he's starving. I was about to say, where is Eel's base? Where's his food? No food here. Trying to work his way down to these pigs with this lizard. Or with this fox. Ooh, gets a chameleon. Now he's hit this juicy, juicy bacon again. Ooh, eel! He's not really babysitting the fox. Okay, the fox is just gonna run out of here anyways. That extra road really making that swift even better. Yeah, nice attempt here from Blue, but he just doesn't have enough. Eel was able to scrape enough food left over to make another farm. Oh man. Oh man, 3 lizards isn't fast enough. A few squirrels over here finally gonna start attacking that gristmill. This fox just gonna fight these lizards, take them out. But Eel's gotta sell his tier 1 Warren. I wouldn't have sold it so early. I would have waited a little more on that starvation, but gosh, so many games tonight, really coming down to the wire. Blue's got nothing. He needs the build. Now, the farm cannot actually be attacked by the fox while it's building. It's considered a structure, not a unit. Foxes can only hit units, but he's just gonna sit here and wait. This poor pig. Aw. I was hoping to watch like that pig spawn and then just get doofed upon. Alright, how are we doing on time? We're doing just fine. A few more to get through tonight. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. It's always a pleasure hanging out with y'all, casting some games. We've got 21 Generals coming up on Sunday. We got 2 episodes. One with Witty Pun 7 at 1 p.m. EST, and the other one here on Tooth and Tail with me at 3 p.m. EST. Dude, so many of the games that I have been down to the wire. It's crazy. Alright. Alright, what do we got next? We got some James. No. Where am I? I'm lost. Okay, here we are. Match number 8. Let's get into James versus Tosh. Let's do it. Spawning on the right. Or did I say James versus Tosh? I think this is Onyx. Let me make sure. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit tired. Yeah, it's Onyx versus Tosh. I'm sorry. I got confused because he's using a meme name. Over here on the right, we've got Mapgen is Cancer, aka Onyx. And his opponent to the top left, Big Pimpin' Tosh. Alright. Squirrel Toad versus Squizzard. Lots of tier 2 on Tosh's side and that Woof. I think we saw him with the Woof earlier on as well. Must be really liking that Woof in the current meta. Meanwhile, we've got Onyx with a bit of a bruiser deck with a fox on there for some style. I think the Squizzard, Falcon, Chameleon is a nice core. You know, the pigeons I can kind of take or leave with this composition. Fox is always fun. So let's see where these players decide to take the game. 8 farm openings looks to be what's in style for this map. Both players have some reasonable access to a second base, but after that, there's really not a whole lot left on the map. There's a couple bases down here on the bottom left. Gonna be a lot easier for Tosh to take than Onyx, so as his name implies, Mapgen is Cancer. He does kind of spawn onto a little bit of a Cancer-y Mapgen map. Like, he gets 2 bases and his opponent gets 4 in the late game. But Onyx can identify that and can try to go for some 1 to 2 base aggression. I like these like mill openings. That's kind of cool. I might try that out in some of my games. I typically, if I want a fast mill, I'll build at least like one Warren beforehand. But we saw Kalaru and Mochaccino do that as well in their games, where they just went straight up Gristmill first into some Warrens after that. And this is why I'm a little hesitant on that, because Tosh is a little attack here. But you know, at the same time, he's not going to really get there to get anything done. Kind of realizes that and backs off, and Tosh takes that 9 o'clock base instead of the one kind of in the middle of the map. It's a little bit safer. This would be a difficult base to hold on to if you're just trying to play passive, you know, because the one thing Onyx does have going for him in this map is that he has access to this double high ground fairly easily and can shell down on his opponent on that second base effectively. I'm curious how long Onyx is... Okay, Onyx did scout this. Very nicely done. Doesn't know how many farms he's placing just yet. Knowing your opponent as a second base isn't quite all the info you need. You also need to know how much they're actually committing to building on that second base. And yeah, here comes the follow-up. You know, they could take that second, not even build a single farm. They could take that second and completely saturate it all the way up to 8 immediately. And you need different responses for either of those situations. So Tosh is winning the tech war a little bit. Overall, I think Tosh is in a good spot this game. He got his economy up and running quick. Got his tier 2 up and running quick. But nothing's happened just yet. We haven't seen any engagements. I don't think any units have even been lost at this point. Players are just building up to a healthy mid-game. Okay, all right, Tosh, looking like he wants to get a little fresh here. Squirrel, Toad, Snake, let's go. He is against Squizzard, so these Toads landing in on these Lizards is gonna be huge. I think he picked off a pig there and just backed out. Tier 3 on the way for Tosh. Both players just hanging out, trying to position. Ooh, and here's a big engagement. Those Toads get some good connections. Dang, those Toads hit everything. But it's not enough. Onyx is able to shove his way through. 4 Chameleons, just, it's so much bang for your buck. Like 4 Chameleons is where it gets really deadly. And now Onyx is busting through a little bit. He's going to pick off a Warren, but got to be careful. Got to get out of here or else he's going to overextend. And nicely done. He does make it out. Now keep in mind, Tosh had invested in a tier 3. So he didn't quite have the army value and standing army that Onyx did at the beginning of that fight. And actually decides against keeping the Wolf. I think that makes sense. The Wolf is kind of a win more unit. You like to have that when you have a big, you know, beefy army for it to buff up. It's not really one of those units you want in scrappy situations or when our armies reset. However, both these economies are pretty robust, and both players were able to reinforce with a fresh army very, very quickly. Onyx smells some blood in the water, moving forward. Those Toads only blasting off on the Chameleons there. Tosh does keep a few of them back to try to hit the Lizards. Finally get some good hits on the Lizards. But again, Onyx just has so much left over. And we're going to trade armies once again with Onyx picking up a Warren or 2 in the process. And Tosh is very, very Toad heavy. Very Toad heavy. Onyx wants to end this, keeping the pressure on, moving these Chameleons up, trying to soak the hits. Very nicely done. A lot of these Lizards still remain. This might just be too much here for Tosh. Starting to lose a lot of infrastructure. All the Chameleons are down, but Onyx is just now dealing critical damage. More and more Warrens go down. This time, 3 Warrens so far knocked out. Tosh does have a really good economy, though, and Onyx doesn't. Onyx is going to have to come home, sell off some Warrens. He cannot afford this many Warrens anymore. I think he's even got to sell off maybe 1 more. And he decides to keep the 7. Yeah, it seems like that's working fine. A little bit blocked, but not too bad. Only 3 farms, though. Okay, let's see if Todd can get the right hits here. Or Tosh, rather. A lot of these toads just getting picked off. Trying to micro them back and forth too much. All those toads just getting picked off and none of them detonate. One does detonate and gets a really nice connection, blowing up a lot of toads there. Or lizards, rather. I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough. Every time I say that, Tosh barely hangs on. But it's like, after all these engagements, you know, they basically trade armies. But the problem is, every single time, Onyx picks up a Warren or two. And again, we're getting down to both players being dirt broke. Onyx musters up 4 more squirrels and wants to try again. Trying to find the right angle to not really be wasting DPS on the Gristmills. Trying to get into this water. He's got a good spread here. Nice target firing for both sides. Tosh is not going to have enough. Dude, the resiliency of tonight is insane. Like, players do not want to tap. But hey, Onyx is starving. And Tosh does have enough money for a couple Warrens, and he's got 2 farms. Alright, a pig on the way here for Onyx. These lizards are going to get here in time, though, before these squirrels are out to knock out this pig. Dude, it's crazy how many of these games just came down to like a couple of units left. I think Tosh is finally going to have to tap out here. Yep, it's definitely over. He just wants to come in and scout and see what his opponent had left. Very, very close match. Onyx ends up taking it. Okay, guys, give me a very, very quick break. I'm just going to grab a drink. I'll be back in just a second. Alright, I'm back. Got me a nice tea. Ready to roll. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in, hanging out. It's always fun. Okay. Get a little caffeine in me. Sorry. I'm a little bit beat tonight, not gonna lie. Hopefully it doesn't come out too much. Let's keep it rolling, though. Match number 9. Let's get into it. Okay, so Alright, this is what I needed. This is the map I needed to get my energy back. Spawning on the right with a crazy deck, we've got Kalaru. His opponent to the left, James. You know, I gotta say, we see a lot of people with toads, and I don't know if maybe I've seen enough statistical analysis here where I might be on the toad team a bit weak side now. Because we have seen like a lot of toad hits that look really good, you know, and just aren't quite getting that damage done. Maybe I'm wrong. James is really good. Tosh is really good. They're still playing these toads. So let's see it. And James's deck is pretty straightforward. You know, the ferret and the balloon are a little bit of flavor, but, you know, Squirrel, Chameleon, Boar is very awesome in this meta. And Kalaru's memeing it up a little, you know. I think he's just having fun. I think this deck can work, but it's rough. It's going to be hard to get there. You know, if James is really aggressive in the early game. However, you know, Falcons and Fox are going to be good against Boar. I think it's not unreasonable to believe that James might be doing some kind of Boar-based play. He does that quite often. Kalaru giving his opponent some false information here. I love seeing stuff like this. James scouts in, sees the expansion, and builds a balloon, which is kind of weird on one base. But this balloon could have been used aggressively against that Gristmill. I mean, it's basically in shooting range, I think. Balloons have crazy range if you can give them the vision. But Kalaru did the old switcheroo and sold off that base, tried to make his opponent believe he wanted to go economy, instead builds a lot of tier 1 here. However, I still don't think he's going to be able to attack into this balloon. You know, a lot of times we hark on building defense early, because it could be something else. It could be units, it could be gristmills, it could be farms. But this balloon is doing a very good job. Actually, I really, really like this balloon for a lot of reasons. For one, it's very hard to get to. You know, if Kalaru doesn't have high ground vision, it's going to be nearly impossible for his units to even attack that thing, because his commander is going to have to walk all the way around and get up on that ledge. And the commander would most likely die doing that. For two, this balloon protects. It protects 2 bases and a campfire. Oh, does Kalaru actually gets high ground vision from his own balloon? That is awesome. And he is going to be able to pick it off. Very nicely done. He's going to lose a lot of squirrels in the process, but it's going to be hard for his opponent to counterattack into this balloon. But James does come up here, try to give it vision. Has to back out. He gets a little bit of a taste of his own medicine there. Let that balloon play from Kalaru. Nicely done. Ferret comes out and just gets eliminated immediately. That always feels bad, man. And James taps. Short and sweet one. I got excited for Kalaru's deck, but didn't really happen that game. Really cool game, though, even though it was a short one. Oh, I see you built a very fast balloon. Let me build my own balloon. Actually worked. We've got match number 10. Another 2v2 coming your way. Let's get into it. Spawning in the bottom. Wait, we saw this one already. Oh, 2 people. Okay. 2 different people submitted it. That's funny. Alright. Alright. Good thing I realized it. Sometimes I don't, and it makes me look really stupid. Hey, I'm not that bad, where I'm not going to realize it in the same episode. Every now and then it will be like the next episode I would play that 2v2. That's how that happens if you're ever curious. It doesn't happen super often, but every now and then I'll like show a game I've already shown. Sometimes it's me screwing up with my file management, but most of the time it's replays that get submitted by multiple people. Okay, so we got 2 more tonight. And then I think we're going to go say hi to Miss Clicker. Really cool to see him playing some Tooth and Tail again. Let's keep it going. We got some Mochaccino versus Marmu. I'm really hyped for this game because both these players are newer to the scene, which I love to see. Especially also submitting replays. Makes me very happy. So on the left, we've got Marmu. Their opponent to the right, Mochaccino. Now, we saw Marmu do pretty darn well in the VSL Qualnaz custom map tournament last weekend, I believe. And we saw Mochaccino earlier tonight hold his own against Kalaru. So this is going to be a cool map here. What do I think about these comps? Okay, well, first off, both players only rock in Tier 1. And I do say that because I don't consider Pigeon core Tier 1, if that makes sense. Pigeon's more of a support unit, so what I mean by they're only rocking one Tier 1 is, you know, most of the time, players will go for something like Squizzard, or Squirrel Mole, or Squirrel Toad, Squode. Something like that, some combination thereof. And it's not impossible to just go one. Typically, when players only go one, it's Squirrels. If they want to be mad lads, they can try to get away with just Lizard. We used to see Pyle do that a lot, where he would build Lizards and a whole bunch of defense. But it is a bit risky, because typically pure Squirrel will lose against things like Squizzard or Squirrel Toad or Squirrel Mole. Squall, Squizzard, Squode, and Squall, as we say. But neither player really getting punished for it here because both players went for that single Tier 1. And the single Tier 1 has its reasons. You know, I'm not saying you can't put together a good deck with only Squirrels. You certainly can. You know, here, for example, Mochaccino able to squeeze in some more variety in that Tier 2. And all the Tier 2 that he selects are very powerful for their own reasons. So Mochaccino could very easily put together a Chameleon Falcon-based army. Not need those Squirrels as much, or that Tier 1 as much. And same for Marmu. You know, Marmu's cutting corners a little bit, trying to get those pigeons, as well as some additional options here. 8 farm openings were in store for both players this time. Marmu opting for a little bit of a faster Tier 2, meanwhile Mochaccino going for that quick expansion. So if you're Marmu, are you going to try to move out when your Tier 2 are done? Try to harass that expansion. He is building Chameleons, and there are multiple attack paths, so Marmu could try to do something like move the Chameleons in this way. Just poke in at those pigs instead of trying to take a direct engagement. And yeah, he's going to come in and move out. Mochaccino going for 3 farms is a bit greedy, especially when you've seen your opponent on only one base. Yeah, you're going to have to sell that farm immediately. And the defense begins for Mochaccino. His Chameleons are a little bit late. And this is actually a really good example of what I was talking about earlier, where Mochaccino opened up very, very greedy this game, went for a quick expansion and a quick Tier 2. Kind of worked against Kalaru in that one game because Kalaru decided to go for a Tier 3 instead. But, you know, he tried to do both. Like, Marmu said, I want to do a Tier 2 opening. I would recommend when you do expansion openings like this, you just build Tier 1 up front. And that makes you safer. Like, this is actually a really good example of how that opening for Mochaccino can be risky. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong or it's bad. That's not the case, but it's very greedy and it can be punished, as we saw there. And the safer way to go about like a quick gristmill opening is to just stick on Tier 1 for like the first 4 or 5 Warrens, and then kind of put in the Chameleons. But it also depends on the map too. Like on this map, the rush distance is so small that you should feel a little bit more threatened by an attack from Marmu. And Marmu's gonna follow in again here. The question is, has Marmu gotten enough tempo from knocking out that one gristmill? And it doesn't look like it. Marmu kind of overstaying their welcome, and this is what Mochaccino needed to get back into this game. Yeah, you can see on the army graphs there a little bit, that first engagement went very nicely for Marmu. But the follow-up, well, it didn't, actually, the trade, you know, Mochaccino did a good job defending it, but what that graph doesn't show you is that Marmu also killed the gristmill plus 2 farms. Here's another follow-up from Marmu. Is this going to be enough to break it, or is Mochaccino going to stabilize? These pigeons doing a good job kind of battle healing here, allowing Marmu's units to stay out, allowing Marmu to extend a little bit longer than he should be able to on paper. Oh, it's so close, but Mochaccino might just barely be defending it. If that Falcon goes down, yeah, that's huge. A Chameleon is here for Marmu, though, to help out. And Marmu is not letting up. This is a little bit bold from Marmu here. He's a bit supply blocked. Should go home and sell off maybe one of those tier 2 warrens, but smells blood in the water, really wants to finish this game up. His squirrels, however, hitting this gristmill is actually not good for him here. This is a lot of wasted DPS, and Mochaccino is going to rally up some squirrels again. Man, every single game tonight, besides like 2 of them, like, what do we see, 11 games? I want to say like 8 of them have come down to just super scrappy low econ situations like this. And Mochaccino actually feeling a little bit bold himself, going to come in for the counterattack. I think Marmu got a little bit overzealous, right? After with the continual attacks there, especially near the end, like wasn't selling off the warrens in time. And Mochaccino is actually going to come back and win this game. Very nicely done. This is kind of a really good game for learning, in my opinion. Like, Marmu's attack up front did a really good job of showcasing why Mochaccino's opening can be dangerous. However, Marmu got a little bit greedy, and it's really easy to do in Tooth and Tail, especially when you get up like that, because you're so used to other RTS games like StarCraft, where you take out a base like that and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna rail him from here. You know, but Marmu overextended. You know, Mochaccino did a good job of defending, did a good job of selling things off and target firing and that sort of thing. But Marmu really, really wanted to seal that deal, kept attacking, kept taking disadvantaged trades, and at the end there didn't sell off the warrens effectively to keep production going where they could. And Mochaccino held nicely and ended up winning, so really cool. Okay, guys. We're going to end on a high note here. We got one more replay. Well, I still got everybody. Thanks again for tuning in. Keep sending me replays at ToothAndTailTV at gmail.com. Any level of play is welcome. And on Sunday, we've got 2 episodes of 21 Generals back to back. You got Tosh for the first couple hours. You got me for the second couple hours. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's take a look at match number 12 here. Right, spawning to the left, we've got James, rocking a fox this time, and over to the right, Jet Erickson. Jet's deck is pretty cool. It feels like to me what Jet wants to do is go Squizzard into Chameleon. And then the Ferret's like a utility unit for Jet, you know, like I feel like the Ferret is one of those things that is going to come up once in a blue moon. I don't think Jet's build like involves getting a Ferret at any time or general game plan. The Falcons are just there in case the game goes too long. You can always start stacking Falcons and getting a lot of value that way. Meanwhile, James going for this Fox Balloon style. We see this kind of fairly often. He's kind of, again, he's got that Squirrel, Toad, Chameleon, right, to buffer into the earlier mid-game. And 9 times out of 10 with James's deck, those might be like the only units that actually get built. Like the Squirrel, Toad, Chameleon. Those are the real big brawler bruiser units. And he's got the Fox if he's able to get there. He's got the Balloon if he's able to get there. And the Balloon can sometimes... Oh no, did this game like glitch out? Or are they just teasing? RIP. That's hilarious. Jets! What happened with this game? That's so funny. It was supposed to be a good one too, I think. Super high note. I know, right? I was getting all hyped for this one. Man, Jet like sent me this replay, and it was called like, it's called something good too. Hard Reads, I think was the name of it. That's funny. All right, everybody. All right, I think that's the show. Unfortunately, the opposite of ending on a high note here. Oh boy. Okay, no worries. It happens. But yeah, thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. It was a lot of fun. We're about at 8 o'clock anyway, so good stopping point for the night. And what's Miss Glicker up to? Looks like he's playing some Tooth and Tail, hitting that ladder. I don't know, he's actually watching a replay, or maybe just analyzing a replay he just played. So let's go say hi to Miss Glicker. Even got that webcam going nowadays. Fancy boy. You're all a bunch of beautiful nerds. Keep sending me replays. Dude, it totally glitched out. I'll see you all on Sunday for the tournament streams. Thanks again, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. See ya next time.